Good morning and welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or one of the 50% of the people watching this that have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. I'm going to do a quick shout out to the people who have joined us in the live stream already. Every time. So, critical thinking always. Very pleased to have you here. Let's have a good show. I will try to. XANH. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but very pleased to have you here. I know you're a regular. Should really find out how to pronounce your name. Morky Love. Very pleased to see you. Nice to have you here. Thanks for being here. Flat Earth Hippie Chick, been loving your commentary, good to have you. Arwin, nice to see you, proud contributor to the show. Nice to have you here, my friend, good to see you. Fep, nice to have you here. Oddballs Odyssey, thank you for being in our live chat, thank you for tuning in, please share the show. And P Mars, last one in before I transition back to the photos. You will see me again in a few minutes' time to either run through exactly the same links as I did in the introduction or to introduce our first guest. If any of you who are currently in the live chat could click on the link below the video just to check that it does actually work, I'd be very, very grateful. Very good morning to Shill Scanner. Very pleased to have you here. Proud sponsor of the show. Proud producer of lots of materials. Thank you very much, Shill Scanner. Your work is truly appreciated. Good morning to Flat World Takeover. Very pleased to have you here. Nice to see you. Also, Ron Burgundy. Very pleased to have you here. Thanks for being here. Please share the show. We have been joined by Arwin. How you doing, Arwin? Good to have you here. I'll just turn up my desk. Bear with me just 1 second. How you doing?
I am doing great. Sound a bit breaky up, by the way, but could be my connection.
Is it yours? I'll reset my desk just in case anyway.
All right. Hello, guys. I'm here again.
Oh, that's
I've
sorted.
had a very long night's sleep.
Excellent, Arwin. Well, the mic's all yours, my friend.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that some person called Zan said for me not to join because I'd be boring and I'm stupid, so I decided definitively to join to bore that person to death. So, hope you're happy about yourself now, Zan. Hope you're happy. Bye. So, yeah, still drinking a cup of coffee in here.
Well, I will tell you, I don't know if I said this to you verbally or in comments, but you did exceptionally well with Charles' Flat Earth Math. I'm pretty certain I can say this and be correct, but you didn't know who he was or what he does before you spoke to
He
him.
was Flat Earth Math, right?
Yeah, Flat Earth Math.
I know him. He's been around forever. He's like the friendly but stubborn Glober.
Oh, so you did know who you were dealing with then? I was completely wrong.
No, I had a good idea. I know Flat Earth Math. I'm not. I wasn't sure if it was really him though, because I remembered his voice sounded slightly different. But maybe that's just me. I don't know.
That's the impression I got. And when you're on one of these hangouts, you don't necessarily see the name of the person on the icon, and the icon doesn't necessarily mean anything to you. So he's just a globe icon, and with a certain voice. So I got the impression that you know, maybe you did know who he was, maybe you didn't, but you know, it seemed to me like you didn't. By the way, you dealt with him, and
no,
you dealt
I didn't
with him very
recognize his voice and his overall attitude too much, but I thought he was Flat Earth Math.
Fair enough.
He seemed particularly tenacious and really not apologetic enough for Flat Earth Math, but I just went with it anyway.
That's because you had him to task on many things, Arwin.
Sorry?
That's because you took him to task on a lot of different subjects. You know, a lot of things that he states that he'd normally just get away with just stating as fact.
Oh, yeah.
You challenged him on.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Anyone can say anything, and if they get away with it, they will feel like they've scored victory because nobody's saying differently. Doesn't mean they actually are winning in logic or whatever. It's still part of the human problem. If nobody's there to disagree with you, then who says you are wrong? It's a very human approach.
It's naturally assumed that Charles is going to give whoever he goes up against a run for their money, but it's not automatically assumed that whoever he's going up against is going to give him a run for his money. So it was a bit of a breath of fresh air. Not that he doesn't get taken to task by people like Jibby frequently, because he does.
Well,
but
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good moment too. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm not always like very energetic in the need of really being in the forefront. Sometimes I just hang around and just watch how everybody does their neurosis pattern thingy, and there's not much use trying to get in between them because people just start yelling. But sometimes it's nice and you get the good conversations out of it. And people possibly even let you finish, which is quite unique in its own.
occasionally it happens. Occasionally you have... It's the same pattern for each show, though, Arwin. You know, the beginning of each show is like this. Very calm, everyone's polite, everyone's getting along.
I like this early stuff, because nobody seems to come on, do my thing. And well, if I do this like in the evening shows, then it's like immediately like 5 people come diving on and start trying to push me away.
Nah, it's not. So. The evening starts the same. The evening starts slow too, and it's normally about, you know, don't get me wrong, there's sometimes a gap of up to half an hour on these morning shows where there's nobody in, Not so much now that we're 50 plus shows in, but at first there was sometimes huge gaps. But on the evening shows, yeah, it was, there could be a quarter of an hour gap before someone came in, and then still it'd be one guy or one or two guys, and they'd be chatting quite cordially, and then you get to about the hour mark, and it's normally you're right into a contentious point, and then by the 2 hour mark it descends into chaos.
Because that's kind of weird. Usually it's really full in here, but why does it take so long for people to find this show with all that giant amount of spreading around of the links that you do normally?
Well, I've had a couple of times that people have said to me that they're not receiving notifications, which doesn't surprise me because I've heard other YouTubers say exactly this many times. So, one of the things I do in the stream constantly, and it might get annoying for regulars, but I don't care, is say, please share the show continually. Or I try and make it a bit more fun and say, look, we've had 158 people watching this show live. It'd be great to get to 159. Let's chase that peak viewing figure, and things like that. Just so it's not just me saying share the show. Share the show, share the show. But that's what I want, because ultimately, I said at the beginning of this stream, I should say it more often, the reason I say share the show is because if you get 150 people in the live feed, there's a good chance that somebody watching it, they may not join that moment, but they might see this now and think this is my opportunity to join this while it's calm, while it's quiet, while there's not a huge row going on. But the only way you get new people is to expose it to more people. Otherwise, you get the same old guests over and over again.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Usually, I consider actually joining the show until I see that, like, David has arrived, and then I usually just decide, no, better walk away now, because there'll be no more non-interrupted moments once he arrives. So that's a good point.
Yeah, and again, people exercise their frustrations that people get talked over, and it's both sides that do this. And I'll have people in the chat say, well, kick them. It's like, no, everybody's welcome here. They'll run out of puff eventually. David will use them. Maybe. I don't think someone like David will not continually join every single show. There's too many. So, it's not like he's going to be on every show.
He does keep repeating the same thing like 1,000 times. And doesn't matter who he's talking to. If it's a globe or a flat earther, he'll just keep doing the same thing. And he actually managed to interrupt, like, my explanation of flat earth things that I was working on, like, with his shit. And it was really annoying. Because he's not helping. So,
well, in his mind, that's his methodology, and I'm not going to stop him from doing that.
I just want it to be said out there.
Yeah, no, lots of people. You're not the first person to say it, Arwen, but by the same token, his point's valid. Lots of people have said that in the comments and to me verbally. They've said, well, his point is valid, so why not?
Yeah, he really goes back to basics.
Yeah.
With just not seeing the curvature and all that, and just the really itty-gritty basics, and that's fine. But
and his map, he keeps saying, well, let's see your map then. And the best response he gets is, well, you can look at it rendered you can look at it rendered on Google Earth. That's the best answer he gets.
Yep.
Well, I don't mind the audience hearing that over and over again. I've got no issue with that.
That's true. On the other hand, like, I don't think anybody really has a map that's not just a projection and an estimation of how the land masses are supposedly laid out over our world, whatever its shape is. I don't think anybody has an exactly correct map in that sense. We're still
pretty sure that's his point.
We got pieces, but we're still shoving them together, trying to make the continents fit and everything.
Yep. If the globe is all there is, it seems ridiculous that
in their minds.
It seems ridiculous that we haven't got that completely pegged by now.
Yeah. Well, how would you even do it? Because intuitively, I'd be inclined to say, okay, you know what? Just get like those spy planes up there with excellent photography systems and everything, and just make a complete picture, like snapshot picture everywhere, and we'll figure it out. We'll make the actual surface of the Earth with those pictures. We can do it.
They've done exactly that. So you might see, if you do a Google search for images of Earth, like a donut-shaped Earth, and essentially it's
Yeah, it still won't make any damn sense because
well, that
it's
has
like,
turned into a globe picture. I mean, that was a work in progress when that was published, and it was a good couple of years, maybe even longer, that was maybe even 4 years ago that was published. But it was essentially them taking the renderings from the high altitude footage, stitching them together onto a spherical map. And
yeah,
that
it
was
was
what it started
Photoshop
off with.
because it had to be.
But that was what they ended up with. That sort of donut shaped thing is exactly that, because it doesn't fit onto the spherical globe. And then what you end up with afterwards, I haven't seen, maybe someone will correct me about this, I've not seen any in between stages, but the end result is just another bullshit CGI globe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out like how we as humanity, or even I, could get closer to trying to prove the non-linearity of spatial properties within our realm, as it were. Like, how can you prove such a thing, that like 1 meter of distance in a certain location actually takes up less space than 1 meter distance in another location
Why would
compared
that be
to
the
each
case,
other?
though? Why would that ever be the case?
But how would you ever find out if there is a difference in spatial density by measuring it in the realm itself? That's a really complex thing. I thought that maybe if you, as it were, drop pylons, sounds like very basic. You drop pylons every few meters, or every few yards or whatever, and then actually fly over the entire thing really quickly and see if there's any strange variation in how quickly they pass you by underneath you as you fly over it, or if there is some kind of change in the apparent distance between the pylons as you move over them. That could be a start. Yeah, it sounds kind of blurry, this setup, but it must, yeah, if there is any validity to space non-linearity, it's going to be extremely difficult to actually figure out how that works and where the spatial density starts varying from other locations. How do you do that? Because seriously, I believe by now, with everything I've come across, all the mappings and all the results of everything that's been out there, that even if the Earth is flat, and I think it pretty much is flat in a vertical way at least, then that's not the end of it, because it doesn't seem to be, its shape doesn't seem to be like a literal perfect flat disc or whatever, or a square. It seems to be like it's more like a donut or a wobbly thing, or something that is supposedly flat, but when sizing up the total parameters, it's not a very straightforward flat surface thing. Do you agree with that?
Well, you said flat in a more vertical way. What do you mean? Or flat in the vertical way? I forgot how you phrased it.
Well, that everything is level, it's on the same height, as it were, that
But it
there it
isn't.
really is a real flatness, as it were, everywhere.
But there
But
isn't. But
when
that's
you just
topology.
size up the entire shape thing, it doesn't seem to work out like it's really a perfectly flat thing.
It doesn't.
Well,
I'm
all
confused,
kinds
Darwin.
of
I'm really
weird.
confused now. Sorry.
Oh, maybe I didn't explain it right. It's like every time it, well, for example, now the donut thing that you mentioned, what came out of it, and other things like that as well. It's like every time people try to put the surface of the Earth together, it never really comes together in a perfect disc or a square, there are always different angles to it, different parts that suggest different regions have a different correlation. It's not all part in the exact shape, as it were. Yeah, how do you explain? It's like the North Pole seems to be probably a circle-like space, but it's surrounded by the continents of our Earth, and it doesn't really seem to fit in there, as it were. You know what I mean?
I do, but
There's like
we're in a land mass deception, in my opinion, Arwin. So
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
but you're never
as
going to
I'm
be in a
saying,
position to.
still
You're
trying
not
to
going to
figure
be
it out.
ever left in a position where you're going to be able to figure out what the land masses are based on what they give you, because everything's been co-opted to deceive you. Anyway, I've got to make a quick introduction. So we've been joined by Make 4. Very pleased to have you here.
Hey, buddy, you don't have to introduce me.
Yeah, I do. Make everyone feel welcome.
No, you don't.
I don't have to, but I'm gonna.
Oh, well, thanks anyway.
Nathan introduces everyone. That's what he does. Anyway, but yeah, I agree with you, Nathan, that there's a giant deception over all the land masses and their layout and how that really puts the Earth together as a shape. And personally, I believe that the key that's gonna like close the gaps, as it were, for all of us is going to be measuring out the texture and patterns and surface of the ocean floors, because they have distinct shapes as well. It's not like, oh yeah, it's an ocean floor, yeah, the ocean goes all over the place, so there's no use in actually trying to take any location there as literal or as non-flexible. The ocean floor is just like the land surface. It's a specific location with a specific texture and marks and everything. And I think that to truly figure out the total confines of this world, we'll need to map out the ocean floor and then puzzle it all together, ocean floor and land masses, to scale, and what really comes out of there. That's what I think. So.
Well, yeah, this afternoon and tonight, the sun set in Canberra, Australia, somewhere around, for me, from where I was, it was about 240 degrees southwest. So that's kind of weird for me because I'm really far south.
Yeah, well, the sun always comes up and goes down in the south. It's everywhere. I've been predicting and sharing that for over a year. It's because anyone that's going to take a position of heavenly body literalism of any type, to assume that there's any physical body literally triangulatably over us in a literal position, it's not going to work out. And
something's not matching up. Like the whole other side of the horizon was just black, like just this one little section in the southwest.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting.
Can you do me a favour, Make 4? Because you've said this a couple of times, and most of the time that you've said it, it's been when there's more than 3 people on the panel, and I don't understand the problem. So I'm having trouble conceptualising what you're explaining. But as you hear, it's nice and clear. If Arwen will give you the mic for a bit, can you just break it down for me like I'm an idiot? Because I am.
Well, I'm sort of just meaning that I'm really far south in Australia, and for me to see the sun that far south means that it just looks really low down. Like from what I feel like in my mind is that someone as far south as me in Australia should really be seeing the sun a little bit higher north towards the equator if I was on a globe. And every time it just goes down into that same southwest, like sort of bottom area of my city, and I'm just like looking at it going like, and the way that the light falls back off the clouds and everything, and it slowly goes dark. It just really sort of just looks like it's down over that side, sort of just moving south around Australia. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's still.
It's hard to
sun
explain.
Always sets at the south. So.
Has anybody from the globe side said the usual rhetoric, which is the globe model has 99.9% predictive capabilities, and obviously it works out mathematically? Has anybody come to you with that and conceptualized it for you, or plotted it?
A little bit. Like, some of them try to come to me and be like, it's got to do with like azimuth or something. Like, I've looked into that a little bit, and it was about angles and the size of angles and stuff and whatever. But to me, as I imagine on a globe, I mean, I can understand that I would be sort of like tucked under the south a little bit, and it's got that curve there that we all have to try and imagine in your mind. And as I would turn from, the world would be turning right to the right. So as we go right, and I suck under, I'm down the bottom there on the southern hemisphere, going underneath, sort of thing. Like, the sun's angle would change a little bit because of that curve. So I do have to take that into account. But I feel like it's still, the curve wouldn't be pushing me out and curving me off enough to be showing the sun that far south still. Like, it's below west, man, and I'm in Canberra. Like, it's below west is enough for me to say, like, nah, west is, for the sun, is up near the equator or the tropics.
Mm-hmm.
So,
where are you in Australia, by the way?
Canberra. It's the capital city.
Is that like in the east or the west? Sorry, I'm not too familiar with topography. Southwest.
Southeast.
Oh, southeast. Okay, so you should be like in sort of opposition to Alaska, I think, on the globe model.
Pretty much, like near New Zealand as well, down near that side of New Zealand.
Yeah,
and
like the tip of Alaska, that will be roughly.
Yeah. So as I curve around with New Zealand, like down the bottom there, like
the sun should be, if it's a globe, should be on exactly the opposite side as experienced in Alaska, basically, where you live. But still, it comes up and sets in the south, so that makes perfect sense on the globe.
Are you messing with me?
I was going to say, Arwin, I had it conceptualized from what it said. Now you've said that, I'm now confused again, and I don't think I should be. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I was making a mockery.
Oh, you were making a mockery, right? Okay, that's fine. It's one where I think the reason I'm confused is because people in general, in this arena of flat Earth, will not phrase it the way the Morgile does. And credit to the Morgile, he'll put a whole load of disclaimers at the beginning of most statements, which is to say, in the heliocentric model, based on this parameter and this parameter, and we don't do that. We just sort of will start to phrase things. And what you were actually doing, Make4, was saying, when I'm on a globe, as it spins around, and but without that bit before, you're thinking, what does he mean? Where's this?
No,
you know what I mean?
You're correct. It was a bit vague. Yeah, on a globe. If you see how everything's laid out, Alaska should pretty much be in the exact opposite of Australia. And, well, if you look where the sun comes up and sets on, in Alaska, it's in the south. And, well, where you live, Make4, it does pretty much the same thing. It might be slightly different angle of approach. Slight different pattern across the sky, but it's still south.
Are you a glober?
So,
Are you a glober?
No.
No, okay. I was just wondering, like, when I say this stuff, I try to put my head inside, a glober's mind and a flathead's mind. I'm still on the fence a little bit, although, like, this sun below my west, Canberra's west, is to me strange, and basically, you know, it's summer for us now, so it should be near our tropic, which is a bit more up near like Queensland for us. That's more north from where I am by 1,000 k's, 1,200 k's, even more. Like, because it doesn't go near Brisbane. We're talking like, I need to pull out a map here, but hang on. Do you want me to share my screen? Perhaps.
That depends on what you have to share.
Just a map.
Okay, sure. Why not? Wow. That's a really small Australia. You know, Australia is probably huge compared to the rest continents, right?
How can I do this a bit better? Perhaps I'll just like...
It might be worth doing it on Google Earth.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, I need Google Earth, actually, sorry.
I was going to say, to show the
audience
audience and get them to conceptualize what you're explaining. I think I've got it now. But yeah, I think it would probably be more helpful on
Isn't like
Google
Australia
Earth.
almost as big as like the entire United States, or even bigger in reality?
Something like
Like
that. I think
North
roughly.
America
Like, yeah,
or
we're fairly
something.
large. Yeah.
And Africa is like twice the size.
But, so, I am down there in that red circle. I didn't get the tropics off this map, but roughly from my memory, the tropic is like, you know, it's up high. I'd have to...
The tropics shouldn't actually hit Australia, if I'm correct. I thought it was right through Indonesia.
They don't even show it on this map. Like...
I'm pretty sure it's not in Australia itself. I think it was like North Africa, India, East West or East Asia, and then Indonesia. It didn't actually hit Australia. See? Yeah, I was right.
So it's over it a bit. Is that it there? The
Although
bottom
how reliable this actually is,
right.
it could just as well be part of the entire nonsensical setup of the heliocentric concept.
Right. I'm with you there. Like I'm not jumping ship or anything. Like I'm just trying to figure out it because it's weird. Like, basically, I'd have to draw out like a little compass here on my, more or less, just to give you like, that would be pretty much north and whatnot. So, my sun, I'm not sure about the sunrise. Someone told me today it's coming
Sunrise
low.
in the east. Sets in the
Just let him get through
Someone was
this,
trying
Arwen.
to tell me that
Sorry,
sunrise was like...
What is it, Nathan?
I was just saying, just let him get through it. Just wait till the end.
Is someone here? What?
No. What I'm saying is, Arwen's sort of just interjecting every so often, but because of the way Google Hangouts is set up,
I'll mute.
like you've just done to me, it will gate the person that's talking. So as soon as Arwen says yes, or oh I agree, Martin Leaker does it all the time. He's not so bad anymore, but that gates the conversation, which means that literally 50% of what's being explained gets lost because you're agreeing. So if you can just literally wait till there's a huge pause, because that'll mean make four's finished. But I really want to understand this. Normally I don't get so fussy, but sorry Arwen, I hate to be so rude.
So there was a Glober guy, I think it was Curved Water today. He was trying to tell me that I should look it up, but I can't find a website that tells me, like a government website or some sort of website that says, oh, the sun rose at this degree if you're in this city. Like, because he was saying to me, this yellow line that I've just drawn should be roughly, like, it should sort of be like this sort of shape or something. But for me, like, I can't tell you sunrise, so I'm just going to do, like, from my point in Canberra, it goes right over my head there. Oh dear, sorry. Goes right over my head there and starts heading towards like roughly 240 degrees southwest. It's not exactly dead southwest like this, but it's like here. So to me, I don't know how far that continues for, or whether it's like whether it's something like this kind of shape where from my vision, it looks like it's going that way at 240 degrees, roughly southwest. And then I don't know what happens after that. Excuse me. But what's his face this morning was trying to tell me that, oh, I just looked it up on the internet, and today the sun rose at 110 degrees east or southeast. Like, he was telling me the sun rose that way, something. So how, from where I'm looking at my place, and I see the sun go right over my head and down towards those mountains, like which are actually like here, really close to my little circle of area. After that, what the hell is what I'm saying? Sorry, anyone?
Can I help you out?
Oh dear. Who's this?
We've been joined by Hank Hill. Very pleased to have you here. We've also been joined by Cat Earth. If I can just say a quick hello to Hank first.
Morning. Yeah, I wanted to help you out.
Just before you do, I'll just say a quick hello to Alex as well. How you doing, Alex?
Yeah. I'm all right. I'm still jealous of your Justice League t-shirt.
Good. Good to have you here.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Yeah, I wanted to help out the Aussie fella. Okay, so with the sun, you do understand that when you're looking at the sun, you're looking at the apparent position of the sun. Just like when you're spearfishing, you're looking at the apparent position of the fish, but the fish is actually a little bit closer to your feet than where it appears to be, due to refraction.
Refraction. Yeah. That's pretty much where I thought you were going.
Right. So
have you got a problem with refraction?
It bends.
I don't.
Okay, just checking.
Because of the density of the atmosphere compared to, higher altitudes, right? So the sun isn't always where it appears to be. It could be a little to the left, a little to the right, So if the sun isn't where you think it is, or you think it should be, it's probably because it's not. Does that make sense?
Yes. You're telling me I'm looking up, it's looking like it's down south, but really the atmosphere's bending that to look like it's down south.
I may be wrong. It could be, a little closer to where it should. I'm not certain of this. Okay, I'm certain that the apparent position of the sun. Right, I'm certain of that part. But things aren't always as they seem. Don't believe everything you see. That sort of thing. That makes sense. And Arwen, I have a message for you. I've been actually trying to give you this message for a couple days. You seem to be the most level-headed person on here, as far as I could tell, on the flat side. So
Okay,
I'm going
thanks.
to give you some advice, sir. So basically, you can argue till the cows come home on the shape of the Earth, right? And you're never going to detect any curvature because the Earth is just so big that you shouldn't see any. That's convenient for them. Very inconvenient for you as a debater. So I don't know if you know, but I was one of the first wave of debaters, and I was very addicted to debating. It was very fun. And I know where their weak spots are, so I was just going to tell you.
You're going to give me all their secrets?
No, I don't have all their secrets. I just know where they
All
have
their
trouble
secret
arguing.
weak spots.
Well, they have trouble arguing geocentricity, so I'm recommending a documentary called The Principle. If you haven't
I've seen it.
you should check it out. When they start talking about all these theories in there, and then all the theories related to gravity, right?
But you
Hold on, Alex. I'll let you speak. I'm sure you want to.
no, but it's still based on a globe, Hank. So how's that a weakness for the?
Hold on, just a
Okay,
second.
yeah, let him talk. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to finish, and then I'm going to go back to sleep.
Well, you're not going to answer my question.
Well,
No, we're not going to answer your question until Hank is finished.
So geocentricity, it's a big thing for them, right? Because, well, it's all about where you place the camera in the model. If you place the camera on the sun, nothing as far as the orbital mechanics changes, and that's pretty inconvenient for them because it's a classical relativity that makes it pretty much where you can't tell unless you're outside of the solar system looking, and it's impossible to tell. Right? And then there's the expanding universe. If it's expanding in all directions, doesn't that make the Earth the center? So, also they have trouble with deep
No,
space.
not necessarily, by the way, with the expansion, the universe thing, because they suggest that everything is expanding from everything else, including the Earth and everything else. So.
Can I prove that?
Yeah,
No,
blue
of
shift
course
and
they
red
can't.
shift.
Here's the thing.
They can make up clues.
Hold
that
on,
would
Owen. Just
supposedly
again, like
prove it.
Cat Earth, if you can just let him get to the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you guys out because I've already been here, done that type thing. I'm just going to tell you they have trouble with deep space because, well, if deep space doesn't exist, then of course they're going to have trouble with it. And yeah, you should totally watch the Principal movie and look up each and confirm each individual thing. You know, let's face it, if dark matter doesn't exist, if they're wrong about that one thing, like the whole gravity thing falls apart, like at the galactic level. And, you know, it doesn't make sense. The gravity thing doesn't make sense at the, what's it called?
Yeah.
The quantum level either, right? But at the solar system level, it works flawlessly. So when you guys are arguing the solar system level, it's an argument that you're not going to win because we can all see the planets and the solar system, right? So if you're going to argue that, you need to argue it from geocentricity. And
Which is based on the globe hack. I mean, if that's as far as you've come for your debating in years, I mean, so you've given up on flat Earth then, if you're arguing for geocentricity.
No.
Well, it's not.
Flat
It's
Earth
not
is
flat Earth,
geocentric.
Flat Earth is geocentric. That's right.
Yeah, but you're talking about the solar. You're talking about solar systems and rotations and sun and where you are. I mean, this is all to do. There's no geocentric model or argument based on a flat Earth, a proper one.
No, that's not true.
I'm just talking to the young bloods. Alex, I'll answer your question just a few more minutes. Or just actually,
Yeah, just carry on, just chatting.
Yeah, that's good. It's all good. So basically, what I was trying to say was the dark matter, the dark energy, and then oftentimes you'll be having a debate, and one theory will conflict with the other. Make sure you connect those dots.
No, but it's very simple how that works, if I can intervene for a moment.
Sure.
All the heliocentrists and the global scientism priesthood basically does is turn everything into mathematics. And for the for our solar system, this kind of works because it's very easy. They have the planet orbits, and the heliocentric system has been designed to reflect the pattern of the wandering stars we are familiar with as planets, to fit that pattern specifically perfectly, to translate it to become that. But every time the scientism priesthood does this kind of thing, they can only do it based on one system, and then as a conclusion, the believers basically say it's all connected. But the thing is, in reality, it's not. It's all just a pattern translation from a single corner, from a single system, and they're not all interconnected. That's the problem. So that's why they can't get all these patterns to fit together in one giant mesh.
But it does fit at the solar system level. I mean, they work.
The solar system is just one contained system, and they filled that gap entirely because they had all these patterns to work with to translate into the heliocentric model.
Also, pay attention to the electric universe theory. I think it ties in. I'm not sure how, but I just want to say that, Alex, you should
just think it ties in. Yeah, I'm not sure how any of this works. I just think it might be all like that.
Alex, you should totally.
The electric universe is not that.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Hank, hold on.
Totally buy some lunar real estate. You should invest. There's Martian real estate.
Yeah, of course,
You
man.
should totally buy
Yeah.
some. I'm sure that
Yeah.
you'll live there one day. You know.
Yeah.
Go to heaven.
Yeah, man, cool, man. But what's this got to do with the flat Earth? Seriously, like
I
geocentrism
was
is not a
thinking
flat Earth argument.
You should invest your
It's an
money.
argument that the solar system, that everything revolves around the Earth, isn't it? It revolves around the Earth, not spinning around the little flat disk. That's not even a solar system, is it? The flat
You
Earth.
should invest.
No, it does actually revolve around us, and it doesn't really matter to that if
So it's just
the Earth
very
is
small,
flat
right?
or
It's
if it's
all-
round,
Well, if
because
it's really,
it
it's got,
does it
can't be far
anyway.
away, but it can't be far away, can it, Owen? If it's on a
So
flat Earth,
anyway,
it's going to be all
back-
close.
No,
Back
it can. No, it isn't far away at all. There is no literal distance at all. It's all optical anyway.
Yeah, it's got to be close, isn't it? So it's not this big solar system like the geocentric model is. It's nothing to do with the flat Earth. I mean, this is what I mean. It's silly for you to say that let's argue geocentrism. It's like, well, a lot of the time in these debates, we're happy to give you geocentrism. You can have it all. You can have that
Yeah,
gravity isn't
that's
real. You can
really
have all these
generous
things
of
that
you
make-
that you
Yeah, it makes
allow
no
us to
difference.
do
Yeah,
that, but
Can't believe you still can't
heliocentrism
see it.
completely debunks that whole system of
But
yours. So.
that's fine. Debunk heliocentrism. It doesn't make a difference. It's not a proof of flat Earth.
Well, if you insist that whatever
Well, no,
it is,
look it
it's not
up.
flat,
I mean,
that's
do you guys
fine.
make anything
But
up?
your model and scientism is
But
completely
my
incorrect.
model is just the model that everyone agrees on, and haven't got the qualifications, and
There
neither do
is
you.
no
to
model
really
that
debunk
everyone
it.
agrees
Everything's
with.
become
Fair enough.
obvious after 50 debates or something. But that's the
That's
case.
true. It's
There
true.
is
We're just
no
trying
model
to like,
that everyone agrees with, Alex.
we're all confused. Can we just like say that? But
Make
Well,
all-
I'm not as confused.
Big shout out to Shield Scanner for hitting that super chat. Thanks a million.
I don't think that if we found America, we found more stars like Nathan does, or a third celestial pole.
that's like a that's
Well,
one to
extra
throw
stars.
spanner in the bucket, isn't it, or whatever it is?
I just love to tease him about it.
Sorry,
But
but I
what-
just wanted to.
Go on, sorry.
So I found this website, which is one that Curved Water loves. The guy, not the thing, because I don't know if it happens. And it says here it's 119 degrees southeast and 241 southwest for our sunset today, 9th of December. All right, so that's for that little dot down there. So I'm just trying to. That means this, basically. See, okay, sun coming in. Roughly, that's 90 degrees there, exactly east, and it's coming in below east. There's the tropic up there, roughly. It might be a bit lower than that, but it comes in so far under east, and then bounces off my city.
I don't think that tropic
that all
line there is
reflection?
correct, by the way.
Well, there's a short gap. I'm going to introduce Mr. Grim V. How you doing, Grim?
Good to see you, Grim. He's on mute though. He'll be back. He probably needs to load.
Scrabbling around by the looks of things. We'll get there eventually.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to have you, Grim. Thanks for being here.
I said the Electric Universe, and Grim popped out like a genie.
Wow.
Oh, Grim. I did some research. What you're saying about nicotine, and most nicotine's synthetic, and also the tobacco fields aren't actually owned by big tobacco a lot of the time. They're very similar to supermarkets and the farmer situation, where they're ripping off the tobacco fields because it's more in their interest to rip them off than it is to own them because it's very
Yes.
expensive.
Same goes for
Okay,
coffee.
owe me an apology now, Grim.
Yeah, same goes for coffee, Alex. By the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
and
same.
tea
Yeah, exactly.
fields and all
Yeah.
over the place.
My apologies.
I can confirm that. I did some personal research on that too.
Yeah, man, they
So
do
what do you
it
think
all
about-
over to a lot of the farmers and stuff. It's terrible.
Well, Grim, did you think about what I said about the inverse square law?
Sorry, I just
Of course I
went
have,
away for a second.
but I'll be right back. I wasn't ready to hop on exactly yet. I just wanted to get my spot for a second.
Yeah, I hear you.
I
Take
still
your
got
time.
to take care of something. I'll be back.
So I'm not trying to push any barriers here or whatever, because I understand there is a barrier full of like hydrogen and stuff. Supposedly, like,
What?
Well, I mean, you do see it. I guess you do see it, like in all the camera work as well. So yeah, there's an
What are you
atmosphere,
talking about?
refraction, and so you might have to explain
Refraction.
the inverse square law to me, because I'll be honest, I don't really know much about that. I'm just putting this question out there and saying, why doesn't
Okay,
the sun
well,
travel like
I
this?
don't believe in a barrier. And I believe that whatever we get to see, we simply do not completely understand what that is. So I'm not going to draw any conclusions of a barrier out there from whatever optics we get to see, including rainbows that naturally form into a curved pattern. But it seems that all the lights that come from the heavenly bodies, which are holographic in nature, seem to like procreate this curved effect one way or the other. Doesn't mean that there's a dome out there. It
Right,
could be,
right.
but there's no actual like unavoidable proof for that. There's just conclusions we can draw from the mechanics of what we get from the light,
Like
basically.
thunder, it echoes, right? And then people
Yeah,
bounce
that's fine.
off of the ionosphere, and then apparently they have trouble getting protons to pass through the ionosphere, but that's probably not a barrier. You could probably just
I don't know what it is.
right. Nobody.
And things do actually, if things go fast enough, they do actually deflect off less dense matter, including air level.
Need more
matter.
dense.
So it does actually happen, that kind of thing. Doesn't say that that is the case every time. Could be there is a barrier up there, but that's all basically NASA stuff and military stuff that say that happens the way it does. So yeah, I'm not fully convinced there is a physical dome out there, and if it's a dome, that it should be a curved dome. Could just as well be a giant flat surface that rests over us, if there were to be something like that. So.
Well, I mean, yeah. See, oh, hang on.
Okay, I think I've reached my maximum dirt levels for the week. So good. Take care, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Alex,
Yeah, good
don't
luck.
leave me alone, Alex.
Take your time digesting that all.
The sun is totally tangible.
No,
You
not even close.
can go there if you really wanted to.
In your mind.
Did you see
In
that?
your mind,
Did you see that
everything can be
song?
a
I'm quoting
Sorry.
someone, or
I think
No,
Hank's
quoting
referring to a
Wilbur.
song that you may not have heard. So Easter's done a song. Easter Mahalski has done a song called "The Sun Is Totally Tangible."
Really?
it's because there was this girl named Q on his show, and she said the sun is totally tangible, and they posted out like in a song, like literally seconds later, in a mockery of her,
That's
because
amazing.
you can't go to the sun; it's not tangible, even on the globe model.
Yeah, agreed. It appears to us like a disc. There seems to be coming light from
No,
this
sure.
disc,
a
although
sphere.
we don't even know that.
No, it's a sphere.
But no, you can't even approach it. You can never approach it. Nothing can approach it because it just migrates away.
But the light approaches you. You don't need to approach the sun. The sun has sunspots that go around the sun. It's observable.
But that entire pattern of movement that we can observe doesn't make any sense for any type of physical object. It's
What makes
all
you
the
think-
same thing. It's all holographic in nature.
What makes you think it's a physical object? It could be a hyperdimensional object.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
I said it could be.
Well, I'm saying it is.
Okay. Well, you know something I don't. Please let me know. What do you know that I don't?
Well, what I know is what it can't be. And when you come to that conclusion, when you take away all the options that seem more easy, more straightforward, and you disprove them, then the only other options that are left must be the ones that are real or could be real. And I believe that due to its lack of tangibility, approachability, triangulatability, all the heavenly bodies are holographic or other dimensionally in nature.
Have you looked up the electric universe, Arwen?
Yes.
Do you think that they could be electromagnetic in nature and not holographic? Is that a possibility?
No,
Why?
but they can be both. I
Wait.
don't know the nature of what actually causes it to do as they do. I don't know why the mechanism of the heavens does what it does. Could definitely be electromagnetic in its design, is like what fuels it to function the way it does. But they are holographic, and that cannot be avoided.
It's almost like it goes directly overhead of anywhere you are on this whole damn place. Like
Yeah,
you can always
it does
see
exactly
midday is
that.
right up above me. Like look straight up. It's weird. Like
Yeah, but that's exactly what it
Almost
does.
like it was 93 million miles away.
No,
well,
that's
I
no,
kind
not
of
like
have
that
to-
at all.
like sometimes it's weird,
I mean,
man.
that's
but
the
sun
effect that
setting-
he's saying. Well, you know, it's like it follows you around. Well, that's the effect it would.
I hope you guys are all enjoying the debate so far. We have approximately 1 hour left on this broadcast, so I'm going to run through a few links. If you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, like 50% of the people watching this video, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and if you would like to join the debating panel, which is currently very calm indeed, to challenge anybody or express your views on the shape of the Earth, then click the link below this video. Be sure to mute the page you are currently watching before you do so. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And number 2, if you are ejected, you'll be warmly welcomed back on the next show, so please don't try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. As I've said many times, I am eternally grateful to those of you who do share these live streams, so please share the show on social media. And with that, I'll say one last time, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Triangulate the sun for me. Do it. Do it out there. Do it right now.
High school, and you can't do it right now. It's
No,
dark
high
outside.
school shit, man. High
It's
school
dark
doesn't make
outside
you
right now. You can't
triangulate
do
the
it.
heavenly bodies. Get the hell out of here, man.
You get the
Get
hell
the
out of
hell
here.
outta
This
here.
kid clearly
Bullshit.
doesn't know
No,
who he's
that's
talking to.
bullshit.
Now he's running.
Don't go
Don't need
to
to get the hell
school
out of
to
here.
measure out where the sun is supposedly going to be.
Brock, the sun isn't 93 million miles away. Well, why not? Well, because it isn't. Brock! You just sound like a parrot.
No,
If
that's
you don't know
not
why
what I
something
sound
is,
like
don't be
at
running
all.
around claiming that it isn't something.
No, I explained very in detail
No, you didn't.
why it's not, and I
No,
don't
you
do
didn't.
it like you're doing. It's bullshit, man. You're
No, you
trying to
didn't.
look,
I put
have
words
to
in my
say-
mouth that I don't use.
This is where it's hard, like, because I have a little bit of respect for you both. Like, obviously, I have respect for both of you guys, and I think both theories are very weird. And for me, I can understand the whole 93 million miles away hitting us directly. The curvature of our atmosphere causes it to look like a triangle, or coming through those clouds and whatever. And you think you can
Vernal
triangulate it.
equinox, always from the east. Couldn't happen on a spiral circling sun on a flat disk. Can't come from the east from all positions on Earth.
Yeah, it always comes to you
can't-
from the south everywhere,
it can't
including
come-
on the southern hemisphere. So
This is
good
my
luck with
point.
that. Try and explain that on your heliocentric.
I think they missed the point because they don't understand the it's not even very complex, but the semi-complex nature of the phenomena that we're trying to describe here when we're discussing the vernal equinox. Maybe we got to look into it just a little bit more and you see why the thing
Yeah, sure. So explain to me
the
why
brakes
the
just
sun
slammed on
actually
your
comes up
flat
and
disk
goes
every
down
time.
in the south in Australia. Try to
You
do that.
realize observations disprove anything.
Try to
with a flat disk.
explain why the sun comes up and goes down in the south on the southern hemisphere. Go.
What do you mean? Why?
Explain to me how that works in your
When is it
heliocentric system
special
with
time?
the sun millions and millions of miles away. Why does the sun go up, go down in the south, southern hemisphere? Go.
I don't think you understand what you're asking.
No, I understand
It doesn't
perfectly
go up and
what
go
I'm
down in
asking
the
you, and I
southern
asked
hemisphere.
you
Go up
3
and
times
down.
now. So go.
The Earth spins.
Explain to me in your heliocentric model
The Earth
why the
spins.
sun goes up and goes down in the south, in the southern hemisphere. Go.
It doesn't on the vernal equinox?
We just got a guy who lives there and says
It's
this
true.
happens.
It was me. It was me, and it even says it on this website. Like, you know, it's sunrise is 120 degrees southeast and
East, directly east. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Well, mainly
southeast,
east.
but I'm like way down south on the hemisphere here, like down the
That's
Sydney
why
sort
that
of-
works, because it's 93 million miles away. It's not
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's up
if
here.
it's so
like it's
much
up
away,
here
then
close to where-
everything south is fine.
Can you
right?
stop talking while I'm talking? Because I
Yeah,
don't need
Arwen,
to
can you let him answer?
yelling. You might be used to that stuff. I'm not going to do that. But if the sun was close here, imagine here's the Earth, right? And if the sun was here, then the angle to the sun would be different from different places on Earth, like this, right? But if the sun was 93 million miles away, much further, I don't know if you can see, right? The
Yeah, I'm
angle
with you.
is the same for the people on the planet, right?
Right.
So what you think is it's setting in the west because you live there. You know, you think it. I mean, when you're in the south, because it's west. It's really the west of you. So you are in the south, but it's not like, you know, you're southwest. That's only because we do have a drift, and if you're calculating the magnetic north or the true north, because flat Earth loves to mix that up while they're trying to make a point. They go, look, it's from the North Pole and it's due south now. It's like, yeah, magnetic north, or, you know, make up my mind. You stop playing games. You know what I mean? So it's not as if somebody's trying to make a fast one on you flat earthers. It's just because the sun is very far away. And that's why we see that from the perspective that we see it from.
Right.
And
And
make it seem like, why doesn't it work from your flat Earth map?
well,
Can I reflect back to you what you tried to explain right there? So because the sun is very, very far away, that explains why the sun can come up and go down basically anywhere on the globe Earth in the south. It's always going to be the same. It doesn't really matter like where you are on the
south
Earth.
relative to what?
It's going to come up somewhere in the south, at the southern half of where you're looking around you, and it's going to go down the southern half. That makes sense because the sun is so far away. That's correct. Did I say that correct?
Yes, and we follow the sun
Okay.
south pole
Okay.
first.
Well, then I got that cleared up because that makes no freaking
We
sense.
follow the sun south pole first. It doesn't have to make sense to you, right? Because I mean, we can't verify if you have the
no sense to
cognitive
anyone.
reasoning abilities to have it make sense to you. We can't really verify that. As long as it does make sense, though, that's all that matters.
It
But
doesn't
you
make sense in
personally,
a heliocentric.
It's like I can get mad at you,
It doesn't make
right?
sense in
If
anything.
you don't get a joke, because you might not have the faculties to pick up on that joke, right? It's just like what we're talking about with this, obviously, because it's really a simple feature. Here's the sun, right? Or here's the sun, here's the Earth, you know, and they're not close. Where one would be here, and then everybody sees, you know, at a different angle what's going on there during the vernal equinox. I'm still talking about, right? We're talking about now it's way out this way, so that the angle is so minute you can't see the difference in there's, you know, what is the angle at that point? Everyone on the planet sees it from basically the same, you know, angle. That's the whole point.
That's not how that would work on the globe at all.
On the vernal equinox, it is. Excuse
No,
me.
on any globe.
So,
No, if you look at your hand there, that's supposedly representing the globe. If you were more to the north, then the sun would go up like in an angle because it's literally round, right?
Do you understand
Go
vernal
on a
equinox?
guy to the south, it would
Do
see
you
the sun
understand
on
vernal
the
equinox?
northern half. No,
He doesn't
you gotta
understand
get
vernal
your
equinox.
role right, man. That's
Oh, he's just
everything
gonna
you said
ignore
here
it.
just doesn't make any kind of sense at all. Not even
Except for
close.
you understood what you're
No,
talking about.
I understand the model. I understand the globe model. What
Or-
you just said
Equinox.
made no damn
Look,
sense.
Explain to us what a vernal
Okay,
equinox
okay.
is then. For,
Hold up.
I don't know what a vernal equinox
Well,
is.
then
It
that's
doesn't
why
have
you
anything
don't
to do
understand
with
what I'm talking
observation
about.
of where the sun is supposedly
This
going to
is
be.
everyone on the planet does these observations on the vernal equinox. You can do it on the vernal equinox yourself. It
Yeah,
happens
but I
twice
can
a
do
year.
it every day right outside.
No, you cannot.
No,
Not to make that
I
accurate.
can't. I
No.
can't actually see outside and then determine where I see the sun. I
What I'm
can't.
trying to tell you is, listen, there's a couple different things that you're not understanding.
Oh,
one,
yeah, of course.
all right. For one, you're on a flat plane, right? In your model,
No.
okay? And on your model's not a flat plane.
No, it doesn't matter whatever
Your
shape it
model's not a
is,
flat
what the
plane.
heavenly bodies do, because
it matters.
there's no relation.
You're saying it's a flat Earth, right?
No,
Then I win.
no, you don't.
Argument over.
I'm not saying it's a globe. I'm not
It's a
saying
flat
it's a
Earth
flat
debate.
Earth. I'm
trying
talking
to
about
say
the
it's a flat
heavenly
Earth.
bodies right now. That's what I'm talking about, and it doesn't matter if it's a globe or if it's flat.
Yeah, it does actually.
No, it doesn't.
Can you tell me why it doesn't then? Again,
Because
after I've
they're
already explained.
holographic and they're
thing
completely
is if you don't-
unrelated to the shape of the Earth.
Anyway.
That's why.
Nathan, you want to take him here and just talk to him
Yeah,
about
I
why he
mean,
needs to know why the vernal equinox is an
Fine,
important argument?
I'll
before he-
interject if you want, Grim.
Please
I mean,
explain to me, Nathan.
well,
Probably
basically,
do a better job.
in a globe model, you've obviously got stars that are being visible antipode to other people and stars that aren't visible on the other side of the globe. So obviously it directly correlates to the heavenly bodies, what shape the Earth is beneath us. So, I mean, I've got to agree. In the meantime, we've got Make 4 who's been desperately trying to interject. At the moment, you two are going back and forth going, yes, I do, no, I don't. So Make 4, if you want the mic for a couple of minutes, hopefully these two will calm down and then come back cordially afterwards.
Well, I don't know. It was me that brought it up, and I guess I was just confused because yes, maybe I don't understand some things. And yeah, on this website I found, which was it should be a respectable website, and they're telling me that. Where's my mouse? Oh my god, what is happening? Oh, sorry. Sunrise was 119 southeast roughly from my little city here, which is Canberra. This little circle.
Right.
And
The Earth is tilted, man. 23 degrees.
yeah, I know it's tilted. So like that's the only
vernal
thing.
equinox is the day that you're going to be able to see it line up as close to directly east and west as you will. That's why it's important that you understand what happens with the tilt of the Earth and the vernal equinox and how that lines up to where the tilt of the Earth is seemingly straight up and down with the sun during those two times a year. So it's kind of important. It's kind of important to understand that, right?
Yeah, I agree with
because
that.
it's all part of the
Yeah, I get it.
the spherical model. You don't have to fear the sphere, folks.
No,
But
I
I'm
don't
just
fear
wondering,
the
like,
sphere.
Because it does sort of come, like from what they say, these are like those yellow
That's
lines
not a
there.
vernal equinox.
But this,
Okay,
I'm like
Grim,
in
we've
this,
got it,
and
but can you
goes
just
over
let
my
him
head
get to his
and goes
point?
like southwest down towards the ocean down here, and I don't know what happens after that.
For everyone on the planet, it's southwest. Yeah.
For everyone on the
It
planet.
would seem that
Right.
the sun would rise from
What?
each position on the Earth, on the globe, from north-northeast, not south-southwest. How did the sun get below, 90 degrees?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
That
I
this
understand what you're saying. I understand.
right. So, and the only thing I can think of is it's either the curve and the way that the tilt and the curve works, and as I wrap around that globe to the other side, the angles are a bit weird. And with refraction as well, okay, we can double up there. So, but
But I don't see the problem.
it's
The
just
Earth
kind of
doesn't
low.
travel
It's below
north
the tropic.
first towards the sun. It's south first.
Like my city is way below the tropic for a start. I'm way down south. Like Antarctica's not far off. There's New Zealand right next to like my city kind of thing.
I don't. You don't understand that there's still not a problem here.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, so
The sun
No, there's
is
not.
still visible going up, coming down in the south, in the southern hemisphere. It shouldn't be. If you
It should
take
be more
the,
north,
if you
really, I
take the
feel.
sun as your
From the
literal
southern
physical
hemisphere,
object,
it's
can
gonna
I
look like
please
that.
finish?
From
If
the
you take
northern
the sun as a
hemisphere,
literal
it's gonna
physical
look like-
object that's supposedly shining on the earth,
I don't
then
think you understand.
shouldn't be seeing it coming up and going down in the south, in the southern hemisphere. It's just It's just
From
an
the southern
optical fact.
hemisphere,
You
you
shouldn't
do.
be seeing that.
That's not true, dude.
That is true.
For
Don't
one
be
time, for one, you're
ridiculous, man.
what day of the year is that?
This is today,
Every
man.
day
I
of
just
the
watched this
year.
No,
today.
it's not every day, dude. God, that's why you're so dumb. I swear. You got to
Oh yeah,
stop
I'm
that
so
shit.
incredibly dumb, but no.
You really are. I mean, if you don't realize that the sun tracks throughout the year to different locations and it's not in the same place every day, then
It
yeah, you
shouldn't
are
be in
amazingly
the
dumb.
same position visible
Amazingly dumb.
in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere at the same time. Yet
Okay.
it does.
The sun goes from tropic to tropic throughout the year, and you would think that if it's kind of bouncing in between the tropics every 6 months, like a ping pong ball, that you would see the sun rise from the northeast from his
Yes.
point in Australia.
No, dude.
Exactly, Hank. Thank
You wouldn't. That's the whole point. You wouldn't.
Because of the tilt or because of the distance?
No, because it's not. It's still to the north. It's 93 million miles away. You guys are not focusing on this very important aspect. It's still to the north from any perspective, or
yeah.
south, excuse me, from any perspective.
Perspective changes everything.
Because the globe is round, dude.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's
perspective
just
does change everything.
the
Yeah.
heliocentric model works perfectly, and perspective changes it all to what we actually see out there, which doesn't correlate at all.
No,
but
you're not-
you know,
you're barely
perspective. So
change-
that's all right. Yeah, that's
No, it's not. Perspective doesn't change it all.
yeah, that's what you're saying.
It matches
this
right up
website.
with what's supposed to be.
No, it doesn't.
It's like you have a missing link and something just bouncing around in your head. You don't get
This
it.
website tells me
One with the
supposed to
missing
be there.
link. It's called logic.
What's this
like, this
website? Before we
this website
even
is timeanddate.com.
right. Okay. So
And there
great.
was a
Now
lot of
check it
dude
from
using
the
it today.
US. From the US,
Yeah,
check
some-
it.
okay.
So you can
What?
see what it looks like from there.
Hold on, Grim. I think he's
Well,
trying
it's
to make
telling
a
me
point
it's
before you start
pretty
demanding
far.
what he
Well,
presents
no.
us.
It's going to be easy to do this real quick.
Well,
You'll
feel
just
free to do it
check
then,
from
Grim,
there.
because he's about to make his own presentation. So if you want to show something different, feel free to bring up time and date and do it yourself. But just please don't co-opt his point and start demanding what he presents to us. He's about to make a point.
I pretty much had my point. I was just saying you can see here that the sun is quite far north of my city, which is way down the bottom here, like quite far under their position of the sun. It's not a very good map, I'll admit. Like, and obviously the sun isn't that tiny little ball either. So that's all. Like,
Mhm.
and you know, I just add another hour or two.
But that's
to
not what that looks like when the sun sets.
Okay, fair enough. Like that's it at 2 o'clock, and it's gone
the same-
over my
yeah,
city.
the
still
same for
quite north.
the guy in Florida. He sees the sunset. It's setting in Florida.
The
Do you
map that
understand?
Nick 4 is showing is still
Do you not
has
understand?
heavenly bodies that are supposedly in
Again,
literal
I guess he does not
represented as in literal positions,
People in
and that's
Florida
not how
also
it would
see the
look
sun
really.
setting in Florida, right?
So, and
And
this is
how
what I
it's a
saw.
little
today.
bit, tiny bit south of where he is. That's not where that sun is,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So
They're
it's-
just
Because
putting
it's
the
not a
sun on
literal
the number.
representation as where the sun really is. It's
Right,
just a
exactly. Where it
rough
is off to
representation.
the side of the planet where everyone
No,
sees it.
no, it's a position representation. It's not actually what you get to see there.
Yeah, I know that.
Right,
That's
so
what I'm telling you.
what
Everyone
they're
on the planet sees the sunset. It doesn't just set over there by Australia.
Yeah,
They're
but if
showing,
it's a
like,
ball,
what
then you
they-
shouldn't see it come up and go
Oh,
down.
it
in the
is a
south.
ball, and you don't see it. I don't see Australia from Florida. I see
So
the
they were
sun
showing the
come up
black
on the
sun.
east,
This black
in
sun should be
Florida.
what they showed
south,
today.
a little
They
tiny
were
bit
telling me it's somewhere
southeast
here.
in Florida, just like you're a little bit
What I
southeast
saw
of
today
Australia
is
from your position of looking at it. See, do you understand now? If I'm in Florida looking at it, I'm this same amount of southeast looking down to the sun as you. That angle.
Okay, you keep gish galloping over his point. We're not in Florida. We're looking at a map of Australia, Grim. I'm really sorry to do this to you.
More valid point. He's not making a point.
He is.
He's misrepresenting an
No,
idea.
he's not. He's showing us what his
Well,
son did today and
point,
telling
Yeah,
us what
I saw
the
today was
model
the yellow,
dictates.
and that website's telling me
Yep.
it should be black. That's and apparently it's curve and refraction that does it. So okay, maybe we should
No,
just.
I'm
move
not
on
even
from
saying
stuff.
that.
You're saying it's the
There's
equinox as
refraction
well.
involved, yeah, but that's not the reason why that's happening.
Well, what I was saying is that the sun has an apparent position when we look at where it's rising from.
That's for sunset and sunrises. from an observer looking at the sun on the horizon.
No matter how far the
Once
equinox
the sun
goes
is already
south,
over the horizon.
no matter
you
how
can
far
still
it goes
see it
south,
on
you're
the
never gonna pass
horizon.
my city. You're never going to pass my city. So the only thing that is a viable excuse is refraction.
So the sun shouldn't be coming from New Zealand. It should be coming from, like, you know, I'm not familiar with the landscape up there, but northeast. Is
Pretty
his
much, like you would hope so. You would like to think that if
one
we
of those
live
little
on a
islands up there
globe,
to the top
you would
right.
like to think that it's coming from over here somewhere.
Yeah,
Like
those little islands.
I don't know, even quite east.
The
You could-
Earth is flipped upside down. Remember that.
and it's also bulging out towards us. You have
Remember
to
the
imagine.
sun.
Like,
The south
there's a
is
massive
going
curve.
with the sun first, right?
This
Right,
is-
because it's fixing to be
The
there.
north is on the bottom. Right. I think you're imaging it wrong in your head. The
This
model.
is how Time and Date imaged it. You've just seen this, Grim.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. I don't understand why you're having a problem with it.
Well, the sun shouldn't
I
be
think it's
coming
because you're not
from.
really able to see the model. The sun is far away. That fixes angles a lot. Look, there's a lot of angle going on when it's close. There's a lot less angle going on when it's far
So
away.
they're at 1
It
o'clock.
almost looks like the lines are parallel, right?
That-
When it's
at
far
1
away,
They're
that's
telling
why
me
you can.
it's directly north from me. So which and they're telling me that it's roughly that'd be
I
about
know, but
15.
what do you think is happening
Grim, you
when
got
the
about
sun
5
sets? What do you
seconds
think
in.
you're
To,
seeing
Grim,
with
you've
that
said about Grim, you've said about
representation?
three times that you don't fully understand it, right? And then you tell us about parallel lines, and then you go to Florida. He's trying to explain. So far, Hank got 5 seconds in. This guy's got 3 seconds in. If you've interrupted him already, just let them get to the
I
end
thought
of
I was
their
answering
point.
his question, man. What are you talking about?
If you want to make, you can make endless points about
asking a
Florida
question,
and
stop,
parallel
let's keep
lines.
talking.
You're even talking over me now.
Oh, excuse me. Did I interrupt you?
Yes, you
You're
did.
worse than me, dude.
You're constantly interrupting
I didn't hear
everybody
him
at the
then,
moment, Grim.
okay?
Right?
Maybe
they're-
I don't
they're-
even hear him talking. Do I even hear him talking?
Do you hear Nathan talking?
Yeah, you're literally interrupting me right now, Grim. You can't help yourself. Just let him get to the end of his point, then you will be free to make endless points about parallel lines and Florida and whatever point you want to make. At the moment, he's trying to, but being continually interrupted by you.
I interrupted him too when I came in.
I actually thought he said the same thing 3 different times in a row.
Right.
So I was just trying to just start now.
Right.
No, you're pretty much right there. Actually, it's yeah. We should just maybe move on from this.
Maybe.
Sorry,
Well,
sorry,
because I
but
answered
it's
it. I thought
strange.
we already went through it all. I answered it. I thought it
Yeah,
was a very
but you-
satisfactory answer.
You answered it wrong.
No,
That's the
actually, I
problem.
didn't.
Yeah, you did.
You don't
keep
even know
saying
what a
that you
vernal
didn't.
equinox is, dude. So you can't come
Yeah,
in.
but your
the plane and
equinox
start
is
throwing
all
out
that
the dealing
crap,
cards as
whatever
if
that's
you're dealing
supposed
the
to be
hands
doesn't
here.
make any damn sense.
kid
It
doesn't
doesn't
know
have
what a vernal
anything to
equinox
do with
is.
general observations that happen
talk to
all the
me.
time, every day, every freaking second of the day.
And it's
Okay.
okay for him to interrupt me, though, right? Well, everybody's got their
I thought you were done.
all tight.
Weren't you done? You
bet
just
you
said
did.
you were done.
bet you did.
Oh, so you're not done?
Well, you don't know what a vernal equinox is, do you?
No, I don't care what it is because
you
it doesn't
should
have
care.
anything to
Have
do
these kind
with
of
the
debates, you need to
subject.
care, especially if you're trying to even pretend that you're
Yeah,
being
your
honest.
orbital wobbles or whatever don't have anything to do with this either. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it
I
actually
don't
does.
care. I don't care what your equinox crappy thing
It
is,
actually
whatever.
does. It
Because
all
doesn't
has
have anything
something
to do with daily
See, this is
observation.
flat Earth. Hank,
all
man,
the
I don't know
time,
what.
all
Look
day.
at this. Look at this guy. He doesn't know any of the things he's talking about, but he's got this attitude as if here he is, the authority of this conversation. What's going on with this?
Well, your projection
Most
here
kids
is
like
going
this?
way, way off the chart.
I'm projecting. I mean, what did you just
Yeah,
learn?
you're projecting.
Really?
Yeah, you are.
And I'm so sick of hearing people talk
You
about
spend like
projecting while they're
over
projecting.
half an hour talking over people, and you can't even make
What are
an
you doing
argument.
right now? Talking over me while I'm
Can't
talking.
even make an argument. You're
It's
incompetent.
The pot calling the kettle
You're
black.
incompetent.
Oh, now you're projecting again because you didn't know
you
the
are
argument that you're
incompetent.
making. You're incompetent.
Head-wearing
You
incompetent.
don't know what a vernal
idiot.
equinox is, and you're a non-face showing, non-verbal.
I got
vernal
hangouts
equinox
with my
knowing-
face, plenty of them. I don't need to do that here.
Yeah,
By
well,
the
you
way,
still
your face, I don't know what you did with your
yeah,
lens, but
Maybe
you don't look very healthy, dude.
You don't know what it is. You should, because that really debunks the entire
No, it
flat Earth
doesn't.
debate. It does.
Doesn't
It proves
debunk
that it's not flat.
all
and it
day
proves that the sun
observation.
isn't local.
Your equinox or whatever that's supposed to be doesn't debunk daily,
So
all
embarrassed,
day
dude.
long observations.
All right, I rest my case. He doesn't
You
even
do
know what
that.
he's talking about.
So make 4. Just so that I understand your argument, you believe from your position on Earth that the sun should be rising from, whatever tropic you got there. I forget which one it is. And what it appears to be rising, it's rising a little closer to the Antarctic, as opposed to, I'm in Texas, right? So the way I see the Earth, when it's wintertime and it's becoming spring, like in a few months it will be, the sun starts moving a little closer and closer from the equator or from the tropics to the North Pole. And what you're saying is the sun is rising from the South Pole, and it should be coming from the tropics. Is that your argument, sir?
Well, I can't see as far as the South Pole, but you're right. Like when you say South Pole, it's just to us here it does rise. I guess you would say below east, like somewhat, and sets below east as well. And I'm very far
Coming
south,
from
like
the
I'm very
north
close.
from your position. It should be
That's what
coming
it
from
feels
the
like,
equator,
but
not the
I
pole.
am like, but then you have to consider like that if it is a globe model, like I would be tucked somewhat under the southern hemisphere a little bit, and we'd be curving, and there'd be refraction. So like, I keep trying to put. I need a really good diagram of it is what I need, and I need to sort of even get a basketball, and say I'm here, sun's over there. If I curve the ball on an angle, would it have that effect on my vision? It's doing my head in. Like,
Well, this topic tends to do that.
yes,
All I gotta
but
say is, if you go down some rabbit holes, bring some ladders with you.
pretty much. But yeah, that when
the
it
most
sets in this, you
It's
go.
important to know throughout the year to answer your question, though. The angle of the sun changes. Excuse me, big rip. This is good stuff. The angle of the sun changes due to the rotation of the orbit of the Earth, orbit, and that tilt. Excuse me. So when it comes around to that time of the year where the sun is actually hitting the planet straight up and down, like as far as its north and south, as straight up and down as it gets, it's still a tiny little bit off, but it's like close to coming due east, still a little bit south.
Are you saying when it's like the equator is?
What?
Sorry, you were saying when the equator would be most closest to the sun, like
yeah. We're everywhere on the same latitude would have equal days and nights.
right.
So that you couldn't. Let's try to work that out on a flat Earth map, right? It's not happening. So that's one of the other major issues. And finding an east and west running street, and then looking down it and watching the sun, rise up the east running street. If you're, anywhere on the planet, it's kind of important to almost, except for the North Pole and stuff. I don't see a bunch of roads there. And that's the kind of observation that you can call everybody all in a row and do it. Let's do this, right? What's up? And so it's already been done. There's times where the sun sets and you can watch them rises. You know what I mean? Calculated and everything. You can verify all that stuff. It's pretty simple. It's not like a big mystery, but those are the kind of things that you need to know and understand to be able to know a thing like this.
I gotta say something. Here in Texas, the sun is, always to the south. a little bit.
Yep.
Except for during the summer when it appears to be almost directly overhead.
That's what I was telling him.
Right.
That's why
So,
he sees Australia to the south, because the sun is very far away. We all
So
see it to the south.
it would be weird to me to see the sun coming from the north, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what this Australian fellow here is saying. Make for is saying it's weird that he's seeing the sun
It's the south.
come slightly from the south because that's where the Arctic region is. Like, why would the sun come from the Arctic region?
And leaves to the south as well. Like when I see it just go down there, man, it's like south southwest, and the light is really located down in that section, like over
You gotta
towards
understand your
more
planet.
west of the horizon. Like it's just not happening. There's no light.
Your planet's tilted like this, man. So going down to the south is still
Get
going
bored.
down towards the, not towards this part of your planet. You're not getting that. That's the all the ice and the cold and stuff you're talking about. It's not getting heavy sunlight. It's not like it's going down out to the south. It's just the planet spinning, dude. So the planet's spinning. I can't spin my hand that way for you and hold the pin there. You need to, why don't just get on YouTube and look at a spinning model of the planet.
So we have about 30 minutes left on this live stream. Hope you are all enjoying the debate so far. A massive, massive thank you to all who have shared the show so far. If you're new to the channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside this show, so super share, super like and all those good things, as Shill Scanner has done on this stream. If you would like to join the Hangout, most importantly, there is plenty of space on the panel. Unlike the evening shows, this has been a lot calmer and a lot more cordial. So, if you would like to join the panel, click the link on the info box below this video. Be sure to mute the page you are currently watching before you do so. There are a couple of rules on the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. And number 2, if you are ejected for swearing, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. One more time, if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Magnetism that have little pockets of magnetism on the surface.
So yeah, like I'm just getting on to that point still. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Trying to represent a little bit more of like how, as it's the tilt's
Look
there.
upside down, and so we can, because the sun, we'd be following the sun is usually a little south of the equator, right? Well, I'm always north of the equator, so.
Well, if it's in summer for me, it'd be down near the tropic, right? Which would be, oh man, I don't know. You know roughly where the tropic would be through there, yeah.
So.
Whoa, Australia just migrated off the bowl there.
Sure did, mate. So, screw it. Anyway,
So
That's a loaded
respect
dice.
Australia, right?
So yeah, obviously I would have to skew this a little bit. Like just I don't know which one to use right now. As it would curve around the back, you know what I mean? Like
That is
it
awesome.
would be something. And so let me get a big ass thing. I don't know what I'm doing right now. So I'm like here. Why isn't that red? Roughly there. You can see that. Can you see that little red dot?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like here. I'm in my little city. And I'm kind of seeing the sun come from like, so I don't know where southeast would be from here. And the sun comes from that way and sort of then goes that way or something. Or like here, it's coming from somewhere that way, and then looks like it goes that way from my city. I'm just trying to visualize this in my brain,
Right.
like.
So now visualize the sun, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
as the sun comes to the Earth's atmosphere, it's going to bend down, right? Because that's what refraction does. As it hits a more dense medium, it's going to bend down. So as the sunlight comes in from 90 degrees, it's going to hit the atmosphere and bend.
The sun would be way like
Yeah.
off this way, 93
I need to
million
verify.
miles.
Can I see that link you have there?
You mean the time and date thing?
Yeah, the one
Or-
you were looking at. We gotta look over some things. I don't like to.
how did I get it? Like sun, moon. Just hook it up in the chat. Oh, crap.
Appreciate it.
Right. I mean, you know,
Help
so
you
I'm on
out.
this curve. I just, it's doing my brain in because as it goes this direction, as we're like heading east, we're heading to the right, heading towards that sun over there somewhere, or maybe I feel like it, you know, it should be up there.
What you're saying is basically the sun shouldn't be coming from and leaving to the Arctic region. It should be coming from and leaving to the tropical region. I mean, that makes sense to anybody, right? Sun is in the
Yeah.
tropic. It's kind of lacking in the
I'm
Arctic.
just still trying.
Well,
Still trying to visualize how
I don't know if
refraction and
your stuff is accurate, because on the same map, it's telling me right now that that's not where it is. Sun's position is showing me.
what do you got?
That the sun's position is well above where you're saying that it is.
on that thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Eh.
Like it would trip me out,
Here.
you know, if I saw the sun like coming from the north. When I park on the north side of my house, you know, to work on my car, it's because there's shade, right? And you know, shade tree mechanic, I'm sure you get that. But yeah, if the sun was coming from the north a little bit, I'd be like, what the fuck? Oh,
A little
sorry.
bit, like-
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
So when like I just stare at it like every afternoon it goes down. I'm just like, why so far south? Like southwest, 240 degrees. It's just, you know, and I know from where I'm standing, I know where that tropic is. Like in my city, I know where north is. Like, and I just feeling that and just being like, no, north is so far that way. That the equator is so much further that way. Like, I don't know.
It's really weird because it seems like that zenith is coming from up there in Africa. Where's that?
And I know why that bunny's got his eyes closed, Grim. He's tired. He's been marching a long time.
Windhoek. I don't even know what. It's just an unfamiliar place for me.
That rabbit has been marching for years. He's exhausted. Okay.
That's the Energizer Bunny, dude.
Why is his eyes closed? He's tired, man. He needs a break.
He ain't tired at all.
You ought to get him a nap soon, man.
Yeah, this rabbit just woke up, dude. Yeah, so I'm showing. Oh, I guess I'm not showing you what I think I am I?
No, I've been looking at the rabbit.
But yeah, like from, you know, because honestly, like it would only take from your guys' perspective, the globe, the atmosphere, it would only take like the smallest amount of space that sun is shining on to have such a like, you know, it could blur it out like a lens, it could curve it, it could do so much like distortion to it. Like, really, I feel it could even. But that kind of shift, that far down, I don't know.
It's not shifting.
Ooh, is that guy gone? Ah, it's so calm. The guy with the hat. I mean, who's this?
Yeah. Again, when was the date for this?
Today.
Like, I didn't get any of that information.
Today.
Today, today, just you want to go like midday or 1 o'clock, and my city is Canberra. I'll type it in the chat for you.
Yeah, I came in and interrupted Mick 4. Yeah, forgive me. And I dropped an F-bomb too, Nathan. Forgive me. I've F-bombed Nathan's chat.
Whoa.
I myself, like, I don't know, what other flat points have we got that are worth debating? Seriously, like.
Flat points?
Yeah, I can go.
Well, curvature is a process that we can endlessly debate and
Not really.
argue over and disagree upon.
Well, I mean,
Can I just ask Mr. Grimm? What would, because you seem pretty intelligent to me. You all do. Sorry, but it seems like you're pretty hardcore glober, and you research a lot of weird stuff.
No, I'm not. It's not hardcore glober. It's just,
Sorry.
Reason and logic.
He's just a rabbit.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Right.
I'm going with the reason and logic.
I don't identify with the globers because when you say glober, you're thinking of a person who accepts all data from NASA's interpretations from NASA. People who accept government and people who accept vaccines and GMOs and all the inferment that goes along with that.
Graham is cut from a different cloth, but he is on the globe.
But how,
and I don't believe in gravitationally based theories, and
yeah, you're an ether man.
Completely off the mark with this glober thing.
Well, if you're that level of glober, it's very unlikely you'll end up in like a flat Earth debate. You have to be at least somewhat of a conspiracy theorist or interested in alternative stuff to even come close to things like this.
That's not necessarily true.
I never see how you infer. You didn't even see how you don't. That's that. This not.
Sorry,
not,
you got a problem with what I said again?
I do do.
You have so many
conspiracy
problems.
theories. Yeah, and I do. Just talk about the GMO aspects and the, the vaccine issues, and I do the research on Eric Seralini.
So I was right, basically, in what I said.
And the Anthony, Sensels and the Stephanie, Senifs and the, all the people who do all the big research and the studies into the glyphosate and.
I know. I'm all about that as well. So that henceforth, I said you have to be at least some kind of a conspiracy interested person to come even closer. If you're just a total and absolute conformist that just says yes to anything government, then you're not going to end up in a flat Earth debate. That was exactly what I said.
Arwen, I'm a real conformist in here. I mean, some real mainstream cucks, MMA artist 4 was arguing for vaccines. He argues for GMOs, pesticides on the food.
I squished him fairly well in an argument, a debate about the glyphosate and the cellular permeability and the so-called inert ingredients and the reassessment of Monsanto's own safety studies. And all that kind of stuff.
Great deal of respect for you, Mr. Grimm, because you are a truth seeker.
Sorry,
a lot of people try and lose. I know, because he brings up broken arguments that are the media didn't cover the other half of the argument, so the other half of the argument isn't known unless you read the studies, and then you know the other half of the argument. So when you read the studies and it shows chronic toxicity in the kidneys of the rats, and then omitted data, and then Freedom of Information Act documents showing that Mark Fellis used forgery and was convicted of the use of forgery in the attack on Eric Seralini to defame him in the first place. And people don't know all those arguments because the media doesn't pick those arguments up, right?
Well, the media is the feds, according to Operation Mockingbird, which anybody can look up for themselves.
Right.
Sorry,
the
Grim.
Freedom of Information Act documents on the so-called independent editors on the staff of the journal to redact the study that Eric Seralini did, and you can see the emails correspondence back and forth to Monsanto, and the guy asking Monsanto, I don't have the qualifications to make this argument. Can you send me your best argument? Like, you're not supposed to be just asking for an argument. You know your side already? Holy shit. I couldn't believe that. So, yeah.
No swearing.
Now, Monsanto is all about control.
But I didn't swear at anybody. I'm sorry about that. But
Grim, sorry, guys, also, it's a bit stupid, but I did actually measure a couple of stars out there when I was having a smoke out there before. Like, lined them up with my wall and tried to get a bit of a measurement. So,
I don't know if you really even do that.
I'll see which way they're rotating, basically, is what I want to have a look at from Australia here. But what I was gonna ask you is, because you're a bit more globy, whatever, what would be your like top points, like layman term points that you could just sort of like that just instantly make you go, see
Moon phases,
globe, moon phases,
sunset,
okay.
Sunrise, vernal equinox.
Well, I think it's the southern celestial pole.
The poles of the southern, the two northern and southern star trails.
Yeah, that's the one that's really got me reeling.
Yeah, that's true.
All of those things just come to mind briefly, like, and then we can reach outside of those things and say objects that are partially hidden, that are over the horizon, over water, the measurable distance of the hidden objects using calculus to discover the radius of the Earth from the position of the observer.
Okay, that was a pretty good one. I like that one.
Yeah, all that stuff works,
Yeah.
Put that down, make for.
Huh?
When someone gives you good information, write it down.
Well, there's still some weird things in my mind about it. It's coming to that understanding of am I just being stupid by thinking? Am I just second guessing what
No,
I
it's not.
have sort of already
Intervene
learned?
for just a short moment with my flatness. I've never really gotten over the apparent curvature thing, where people always say, "Yeah, what we see in the distance, not perspective. It's not a mirage. It's actually a curve, and it's always there." But why then don't you see this curve in the actual horizon? Because that is, if you're actually looking on a ball, you should see the horizon in the distance very, very curved. This is just an inescapable fact. And no matter what the size of the ball Earth would supposedly be, even if it was 10 times larger than is assumed currently, you would still see this curve in the horizon. It's inescapable.
No. Okay. Look, Mr. Graham, please
I'll
let
let you, Hank.
go over
I
30
think
minutes.
you know this one.
Okay, so yeah, the Earth is roughly 25,000 miles in circumference. So you looking for a curve and thinking that you would be able to see it, you are so minute.
No, but that wouldn't work.
Well, that's not the answer.
Work because then
I got
you
it.
wouldn't be
I'll take it
seeing
from
any
you.
curvature in the distance either.
That's okay. I'll take it from
That
there.
doesn't make any sense.
Go ahead.
I'll take it from here.
Either you see the
360
curvature both ways or you see them no way.
The horizon will be level to you at 360 degrees from your position. 360 degrees.
Yeah.
The curvature tips down and away from you. You're on a sphere.
I know, but even in the
So
loop,
it doesn't
you
tip
go
left and
straight up,
right.
you don't
It
see
tips 360
the actual curve
degrees,
in the
all
distance.
equally. So you're expecting to see left and right that curve more than the rest of the 360
No,
degrees.
that's not what I'm expecting.
But they're all curving equally away
No,
from you at the
That's
same time.
not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting.
Well, you are if you're
super
expecting to
far
see curvature.
distance. I'm
Are you going to
expecting
interrupt me the whole
for
time I try to
super-
explain this to you, or what?
I'm trying to explain what I'm
'Cause you can't
actually
listen
trying
with
to
your
convey
mouth
here.
running.
I'm
You
trying
can't
to
hear me with
explain
your
what
mouth
I'm
running, I'll
actually
tell you that
trying to
much.
convey here. Okay?
You can't hear me. I'm conveying something, and then you're
Yeah, you're
interrupting.
trying to respond to me, but you
Again,
don't
you're interrupting
understand what
while
I
I'm
actually
complaining
said.
about
That's
you
why I'm
interrupting
trying
me.
to
Can I
rephrase
moderate it?
myself.
Can I just
mean,
moderate
thank you,
and say
please.
that, like, okay, yeah, like he's saying that you're so small and like it would just be like that, and then I think he was going to come back and say like, yeah, but if you go up then or whatever, it
No.
should sort of look like it's sinking away from you.
What I'm saying
You've
is
ruined my
that
point with your
in the
crazy.
horizon, in the far, far distance, you cannot say you're so small, you're so far away. No, in the horizon, in the far, far distance, you should not be able to escape literal, physical, visible curvature in the far, far distance on the horizon, especially when you go up high. And you never see this. It's always a straight line. You can argue, hey, it's going below you or whatever, but it's always straight in the distance, and that cannot make any sense if it was a ball. It just can't. It doesn't work that way, no matter how big this ball is, how small we are. It's not how it works.
Maybe I want to go out and check these stars quickly. I want to go have a smoke and check these stars, but I do want to hear this as well. I'm just going to go smoke, and I'll listen to you when I come back.
But I think Make 4, I think we've actually shown you tons of video and stuff already of this curvature that this guy's claiming does not exist. And
yeah, but then you
gone over the exact camera lenses and everything to make sure that you knew that they were literally the flattest camera lenses in the world that we showed these things from.
There's some balloons that go up like 100,000 feet, and it's still like
no. There was actual curvature here. FlatEarthDeception.com. Go to FlatEarthDeception.com. Check out the little website there. Yep. Scroll on down to some videos that were given to us by flat earthers. Okay, flat earthers who said these were flat. We put a red line on them that you could see that no, they were not flat at all. And thank you for the evidence of curvature. Flat earther. Appreciate you. 3 or 4 of those photos in a row we got. Check it out. It's really great.
You ever heard of the concept of fisheye lenses? Have you?
Sure have. Yep, that's right. And these are not fisheye lenses. So enjoy your red face. Right, these are from flat earthers. These videos, these pictures were from flat earthers to prove
that doesn't mean that they didn't
the horizon was.
Use a fisheye lens.
We put a line on it there, and you can definitely see that. Guess what? It was not flat.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sure. You can see for yourself because I already said www.flatearthdeception.com. Check it out. All the questions that you have, check out there at www.flatearthdeception.com.
Hey, I think we're about to end. Nathan, I want to thank you for
5 minutes. 5 minutes left.
I'm going to get some groceries right now, so thank you for having me.
Fair enough. We got about 5 minutes left.
Right. So it was great being here. Thanks for giving me the time to do my thing. It was interesting discussing with you guys, Hank, Make 4, and Mr. Rabbit over here. So see you next time, guys.
Thanks. Oh, remember, www.flatearthdeception.com.
Yeah, keep it flat. Hey, see you guys.
So, Graham, I'm curious about the inverse square law. I mean,
talk to me about it, man. I haven't really had a lot of time to refresh myself with.
Well, basically, it's a mathematical equation that you can plug the numbers into if you know.
No, I know, but I mean, what are we talking about? Exactly.
Light coming from 13
space.
Light away. So
the main argument with that is we'd have to assume that first of all, light is what these gravitationally based theoretical mathematicians said it is, and I don't believe that. I see light as I don't say it just alone, but a lot of people see it as an electrical circuit from the, like a transverse, pulse. I can't even, describe it exactly for you without going over some old research and giving you all the correct verbiage.
It's electromagnetic radiation, right?
Basically, yeah. Well, of course, and that's why we pick it up with those types of sensors, right? And there's why we have like what we call infrared and whatnot as well.
Well, my point was that they said that they've done the math.
Electromagnetic radiation.
I mean, took over you. My point was that they said that they've done the math on it, and the math works out. But my problem is, I've looked at the equation, and here's the thing with equations. You have to plug in the numbers, and if you don't know the
Right.
the power of
No, I
the
agree.
the star that's
I don't
putting
believe
out
their
light.
math does work out, right? I don't. I believe there is problem with their math. Well, for a couple of reasons. For one, photons, I don't see them the way they're talking about. Excuse me, I'm having a heartburn. But that particle physics crap, right? It's I don't see it in that light. I see it as field perturbations and standing perturbations, like reverbing waves, basically, in a with a background, um, you know, ether, a background wave. So that's why I can see magnetism working in pure vacuums and stuff like that, because it's not never a pure vacuum. There's always a substrate there. Um, you can't touch it, and like you think you would be able to. It's not this luminous ether that they postulated originally. You know what I mean?
Right.
What we're talking about. It's
Luminiferous
the substrate of all, of everything. And the ether is not what the electric current is riding along. That's the plasma, which is basically the second modality of the ether, getting closer to being matter. And then when plasma dielectrically condensates, it now matter, can, different types of not just that one avenue, but different types of that's,
So I've been thinking about this for a while.
It's all plasma at that high rate of.
Well, I guess I've been thinking about it heavily for a week, and quantum physics, kind of comes into it a little bit. Is light a particle? Is it a wave? Is it both? Is it the same time? Is it
fucking neither? It's electric, and they're screwing us over.
I agree that it's electric.
Yeah, I mean, it's a transverse pulse. I mean, it's already connected.
And you know that it can't travel forever, or 13.8 billion light years.
Well, in a near vacuum with very little medium, it can. It doesn't terminate. Right.
Because the inverse square law.
No, electricity doesn't terminate in space. So if light is electricity, now we've got these distances. But the thing is we don't need those distances. They're talking about things they're talking about millions and millions of light years, but they can't really be sure about those distances because redshift is not an accurate measure of distance. And that's what they're using for their measuring of distance.
I agree.
Check out Halton Arp's work, and you see that redshift has an intrinsic mechanism. That's why he calls it intrinsic redshift, because there's something intrinsic to this redshift other than it's moving away from you. There's an electric current.
Sorry to interrupt you, Grim. I'm actually gonna round out the show now, guys. I will come back after this little ditty that I'm going to play from Easter Hall. But while I've got you actually in conversation, thank you very much for joining the panel. As I say, I will come back and just thank the audience one last time for being here. So with that, I'm going to transition you across to a bit of Easter Mahalski.
Peace out, y'all. Bye.
The sun, it's totally tangible. You could get there if you really wanted to. The sun is totally tangible. You could get there if you really wanted to, but you don't want to. Just wanna come online and complain, 'cause things don't seem like that way that they say, yeah, but the sun is totally tangible, it's what they say, so I believe them, why don't you? The sun, it's like totally tangible. plans on going into the Air Force, so you could join NASA, become an astronaut. 'Cause anyone can be an astronaut. Anyone, 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 anyone. Anyone can be an astronaut. Yeah. The sun, it's totally tangible. How dare you argue against it? The sun is totally tangible. I can't believe you don't believe these standard academic models. The sun, it's totally tangible. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson said it's totally tangible, so it's got to be totally tangible. I mean, oh my God, because like I looked into the science books and like, you know, I might not have graduated high school or anything, but like I totally think that like, I don't know, like, you know, it's like totally tangible. It has to be totally tangible, because if it's not totally tangible, then that would mean that like somebody was lying, and they're not lying. The sun is totally tangible. You could get there if you really wanted to. The sun is totally tangible. You could get there if you really wanted to. Anyone can be an astronaut. Everyone's gonna go to space. We're gonna go to space. Yeah. And there's like Lagrange points with satellites in parking lots in space. Lagrange points are parking lots in space. And there's like one, it's L3, and it's on the other side of the sun, because the sun's totally tangible. It's like, it's in the middle. You know what I mean? It's in the middle. So like, you know, it's totally tangible. You could go there if you really wanted to, but like, you know, I mean, I don't know.
And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the live audience for tuning into this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to the panel members themselves for making this debate possible. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.